Ladies and gentlemen, by way of introduction,
I don't think any words can explain a man's life.
The broadcasting system and its affiliated stations present Columbia Network takes pride in presenting. We take you now to Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Mercury Theater and star of these broadcasts.
It was a voice. Just a voice. I never really saw him. He was only
the hero,
Orson Welles,
a great lover,
Orson Welles,
and a dirty dog.
Orson Welles.
Good morning, this is Orson Welles speaking.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Orson Welles.
This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Orson Welles speaking.
I'm a Unicron.
Well, here it is. If anybody wants to see it.
All right, everyone, come in, take your seats. Move into the front. Bell rang, guys. All right, come file in, fill in the front row, please and thank you.
The front row, not our front.
Look, there are seats right here. And there are people in the back. Just come fill in these seats, everyone, please and thank you. Welcome back to another class at Wells University. I am one of your TAs. My name is Stephen Foxworthy, pronouns he, him.
Hopestow, she, her.
And we are your TAs for this course and have been for the past several weeks and will continue to be for years into the future. I haven't even been trying and I have already broken hope.
I almost reflexively went into the High on Cartoons thing that I do with Bex. I have apparently been trained Pavlovian style. That's exciting to realize about me on microphone.
I was going to say live on mic.
Yeah, great. Good.
It's always great when you have those kind of let's be very honest. You are one who is who has had her fair share, let's say, of revelations on mic. So
it's like my psychology has a really good sense of timing. So yeah, no, let's preserve the moment.
I mean, we're living in it. We might as well.
Dumb as hell.
This is coming, of course, from two people who decided to record a podcast the week of the 2024 presidential election. So, we're not always great at picking the right moments to capture.
Yeah. Hey, you know what the best time in history to relive right now is? The 1930s. Stephen, where's Orson Welles? And more importantly, when is Orson Welles? Oh, shit. I get to ask that all the time now. Hell
yes,
yeah.
You do. Well, first, before we get too deep into it, I did pour myself a tasty beverage before we began.
Yes, describe this beverage.
Stephen has been
teasing this beverage.
Are we starting recording an hour late? Yes, we are. Have I been teasing Hope about this beverage the entire time? Yes, I have. Hope, there is one beverage that has, I know, been an object of fascination for you since I've moved to this area here in northeastern Illinois. And I know that is a beverage known as Malort, a thing I have attempted to describe to you many times.
No. I'm terrified.
Here's a thing, Hope, that I realized, that I found. They make a barrel-aged Malort.
No, they do not.
They absolutely do. Read the word backwards, but read
that
the word.
Is you are using an AI-generated camera image to project that onto my screen. That is not real.
First of all, how dare you? I would never.
Barrel-aged Malort.
Barrel-aged Malort. This is not. Believe it or not, this is not the first bottle of this that I have purchased.
That's distressing.
And you'll notice it is almost gone.
Oh no! Like even an optimist would struggle to describe that bottle there.
Right. That is how low I am. In fact, I am. I found out that the liquor store within 5 miles of my apartment sells it regularly, and so I have now a source for it.
Oh, my friend.
So it will be a part of my regular rotation.
Oh, why?
Because Hope, I am one of those fucked up weirdos that actually likes this stuff.
Well, I like The Matrix Reloaded, so yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, sometimes your tastes are your tastes, right? And I like bitter, and this is certainly bitter. Like it's a wormwood liqueur, like it's got that bitterness. And it was an episode of High on Cartoons, I feel, or was it a Disenfranchised recording? I remember it was you and Bex and I,
Oh
and
no.
we went deep on Malort for some reason. I don't know why we did it, but we went deep on Malort.
Everything has blended together at this point.
That's fair. I know I was living
know
in my
we're-
apartment in Evanston, so I
I
was in the
know we
north
were
suburbs at that
I
point.
know we were recording together, and I know it went on for too long, and that's all the times we record together, right?
I was going to say, honestly, I feel like these recordings that we've done for this podcast have probably been some of our shortest recordings ever.
Yeah, because we actually have a script to go off of, and we're not freewheeling about the Muppets for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So,
Well, about the script, I'll come clean on this one. I got busy. It's been a few weeks, several weeks actually, since our last recording. For you guys, it was just a couple weeks ago that you heard us talking about Wells's time in Ireland. But for us, it's been, oh gosh, probably about a month or so, a month and a half, 2 months, somewhere in that region. And that's just because I've been busy as hell. I was in a play. I've closed the play, and I've been trying to find my footing in real life after the play. So that's kind of where I'm. So and when I sat down to do the reading, I just got so engrossed in the reading that I forgot to take notes. So an hour and a half before we're supposed to start recording this podcast, I am scrambling to write down as many notes as I could, and I only made it about less than 15 pages through the book with the notes that I have. So I'm sitting at a handsome 1.5 pages of notes today, and at some point, it's just going to be me flipping through the book, going, "Oh yeah, oh right, yeah, okay, so yeah, this happened."
Good.
So that's kind of where we're at.
I'm gonna get out my legal pad and set it up right next to my computer right now, so I can note as to where the awkward pauses are for Tucker.
Tucker, who is our not only wrote our outro music that you hear every week here on Wells University, but is also our editor and producer. So big ups
thank you,
and
Tucker.
thanks to Tucker. We've not really mentioned him the past several, or I guess the first several episodes, because we didn't know he was doing that until like within the last 2 or 3 episodes. So,
yeah, he's been a godsend. So
absolutely, in so many ways. So, and he's the one. If you're hearing this right now, thank Tucker. He's on Instagram at ice909. That's ICENINE, the number 0 and the number 9. And just let him know you appreciate all the work he does on Wells U Pod. So yeah, there we go.
Anything that gives me less work to do on, I have too many fucking podcasts. What is wrong with me? It's psychological. It's psychological at this point.
I look, I've been offered other podcasts too. Like I have a very dear friend who's been wanting to get a podcast off the ground with me for years, and I'm at this point I'm just like, dude, I've got 3 podcasts. Like I can't do another podcast, buddy. I'm sorry. Like if you do all the research and all the work, and I just show up and like just kind of riff off of what you're doing, then I might be able to fit in a 4th. But like, particularly if you're wanting to do like a weekly thing, like I'm involved in 2 podcasts right now, so that's true. I was like, I don't know if I could do another podcast, and you're like every other week, and I'm like, bitch, I'm in.
Sustainability. We're going for sustainability here.
And again, and there will come a time, I'm sure, because we're at the time of this recording, we're running low on backlog. But at some point we'll probably run out of backlog, need to take a few weeks off. But as it stands, we're going to keep doing this for as long as it's fun.
Right, exactly. We should also mention, we were talking a little bit pre-record, but we're going to be finally getting into what the intended meat of this podcast macro series is supposed to be about, which is the creative works of Orson Welles. Right. We've been mired in his pre-creative works biography up until this point, which is fascinating context. And I now know more about Orson Welles than I ever thought I would care to know. more than I'd still care to know, I would say at this
I
point.
mean, fair.
But considering what we're about to do and just take like each individual project blow by blow,
Right.
over, over the next 10 years, the context is important. Yeah, if we went weekly, we'd only go for 5, and we want this experience to last for you, the people.
Right.
Yeah, a snapshot in history.
And also, as previously mentioned, we have other projects that we are constantly working with.
Christ alive, you're telling me.
Yeah. We're busy people, and this is fun. This is our attempt at I don't know. This is our
Immortality.
opportunity.
This is
Yes.
us going for immortality.
But it's also it's a chance for us to reckon with a figure whose work we do admire for various reasons, and
we became friends over.
exactly.
Aw.
See our first episode about that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's safe to say, Hope, that you are one of my best friends, and
Aw.
it is because
You're one of
of
my
Orson
best
Welles.
friends too, man.
Aw, I love you, bro.
Aw, I love you too.
And again, it's because I had an Orson Welles avatar, and Hope was like, this guy seems like my kind of weird, and
Hey,
she was right.
Guess what my current hyper focus is right now.
And we have become wonderful friends as a result.
Yes, very much so.
And we get to do this together, which again is I do, even though I am like today, I am woefully underprepared. I was still very excited because I knew I was going to get a chance to shoot the shit with you, and that is always a highlight. Whenever
I'm kind of excited to see underprepared Stephen. It'll be a nice contrast to every other time I've spoken to you.
Well, underprepared Stephen is kind of a shit show, so buckle up.
Cool.
Because that's where we are. And I've just finished my first glass of Malort for the night, and I'm popping the cork to pour another. So, and I've also
refilled my water.
I've also, you can go fill your water if you need to.
No, I might take a quick pause before we actually get into the notes. But would you like to start off with orienting ourselves in history?
Yes, let's absolutely create a larger context for this conversation. Hope, what is going on? So we're picking it up when Orson arrives back from Ireland in spring of 1932. Hope, what is happening in the world around that time?
So first off, I discovered a horrible truth. I've been using the mobile website onthisday.com for this information, and I'm going to open. There we go. And we're starting in 1932, and I realized the mobile version gives you just kind of the basics. It's the Cliff Notes edition.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the desktop browser version, it gives you every single thing that happened on every single day. So when I open up on my desktop and it says January 1st, Himmler defines that you have to prove your Aryan ancestry in order to have children in Germany. I'm like, okay, we're going back to the mobile page. I can't deal with that right now.
Because again, if there's a period in history where it's just so much fun to escape to right now, it's the 1930s.
Oh, God, it hurts. Anyway, but in terms of major events, we've got May 21st. After flying for 17 hours from Newfoundland, Amelia Earhart lands near Londonderry, Northern Ireland, completing the first solo transatlantic flight by a woman. That's pretty fucking badass.
Hell yeah, Amelia.
December 19th. I guess nothing else happened in 1932. We're going right from March to December. British Broadcasting Corporation begins transmitting overseas. So that's exciting. The empire is dying, but the domination of the airwaves is just beginning.
Long live the BBC.
31 years until Doctor Who. In film and TV. Who has that sort of information just in their back pocket at all times?
And one of the many reasons I love you, girl.
Oh Christ! I have not kept up with the new shit.
I saw the first couple. I saw the first Chudy Gatwa special, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. And then I started seeing everything about the rest of the season, and then this past season, I'm like, oh no, oh no,
Yeah,
oh no.
I
But
tend
anyway,
to not engage with the Doctor Who fandom.
on April 12th, Grand Hotel, directed by Edmund Goulding and starring Greta Garbo and John Barrymore. I'm sure Orson Welles has nothing to say about any of these people.
Well, I
Premieres in
know.
New York, includes the line, I Want to Be Alone. Best Picture Production, 1932.
I know he actually took. While he was that movie came out, he was actually staying with some friends in Wisconsin. We'll talk about that momentarily, but he does treat them all to a movie called Grand Hotel because
Oh, hell yeah.
Orson is a big Barrymore fan. Apparently, his father and Barrymore were friends. He
Of
does
course
have a
they
couple
were.
things to say about Greta Garbo. Let me see if I can track those down. I'm looking at Peter Bogdanovich's This is Orson Welles, the series of interviews Bogdanovich and Welles did together. Looking for, where is she? Greta Garbo. Tucker can edit all this out, I'm sure. Or maybe he'll just leave it in despite me.
15.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't really have much to say about her there. Let me try the other page. No, nothing really to say. He has only things to say about Garbo in connection with other people. Basically, he wanted to make a movie with Charlie Chaplin and Greta Garbo, and thinks that Garbo had a knack for comedy that she never really got to tap. Basically, he wanted to put her in a farce with opposite Chaplin, but Chaplin, of course, notoriously could only direct himself, so he would never work for another director that wasn't himself. We'll get into
Of
that
course.
in the 40s when we finally talk about Monsieur Verdoux, which we
Fair
absolutely
enough.
will.
Well, there's that. And then up next, let's see. The Music Box is released on April 16th, starring Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. 1932 Academy Award for Best Live Action Short Film. Did he have anything to say about Laurel and Hardy?
Not that I can see here. Oh, wait,
All
Stan
right.
Laurel, page 130. I was just on that page.
Okay.
But again, we'll see if it's actually, any deeper than just a mention. Because again, any mentions of people will be indexed here. So one of these days, I'm going to need you to
noting the
give me
awkward pauses.
I was going to say, one of these days, I need you to give me a list of these so I can actually find the pull quotes.
I apologize.
No, you're fine. This has kind of been the thing that we've done. Here we go. Wells and Bogdanovich are talking about comedians. Wells says, I have an admiration rather than affection for most comedians. I liked the low comedies better than the high comedies. Bogdanovich says, but you liked Gregory LaCava. Wells says, very, very much, but not, the same feeling I have for Bill Fields or for Laurel and Hardy. Great comedic performances like those must be greater than any comedic director. So great admiration for Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy for sure.
Interesting. Let's see. April 29th, the first broadcast of One Man's Family on NBC Radio, the longest running dramatic serial on U.S. radio. It ends in 1959. Holy shit. July 28th, White Zombie, the first feature-length zombie film directed by Victor Halperin, starring Bela Lugosi, is released in the U.S. Yeah, there you fucking go.
I was going to say, I just did a podcast. It'll have been out probably for at least a few weeks by the time this comes out. On the Pod and the Pendulum on the original Night of the Living Dead, and we absolutely shout out White Zombie in that episode for sure. Talking about the history of zombie comedy or zombie movies, and kind of how that led up to Romero and how Romero kind of shifted the game there. But yeah,
nice, very nice. August 22nd, the BBC begins experimental regular television broadcasts. November 7th, this is fun. The first broadcast of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century airs on CBS Radio. And I just pulled it up. There are a shitload of episodes of the radio program on YouTube. If you search specifically for Buck Rogers in the 25th Century Radio Show, I know what I'm listening to the rest of this week.
There you go.
Fuck yes. December 22nd, The Mummy, directed by Carl Frund. Frund, thank you. Starring Boris Karloff, is released in the U.S., the first mummy horror film. Later, the medium would be perfected, directed by Stephen Sommers and starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz and
yes.
yeah.
Yes. 1932, December 27th, Radio City Music Hall, designed by Edward Durrell Stone and Donald Deskey, opens at Rockefeller Center in Manhattan, New York City. It's a lovely place. Gonna be real. Let's see. Any names I recognize in historical people born in 32? I recognize Sylvia Plath. Don't know why I recognize Sylvia Plath, but another name's catching my eye. Actors, quote unquote, born in 1932. John Williams on February 8th. Elizabeth Taylor, February 27th. Anthony Perkins, April 4th. Joel Grey, April 11th. Casey Kasem, April 27th.
I fucking love Joel Grey.
God.
Cabaret is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Love Joel Grey.
Interesting. All right. Musicians, we got Johnny Cash on February 26th, Patsy Cline, September 8th, and Little Richard on December 5th.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty fucking cool.
Just coming out of Pride Month, you got gay icon Little Richard. Love to see that.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And musicians who died in 1932, here's a name. John Philip Sousa.
I was going to say just finish up Pride, but coming up on July 4th. So that's Sousa time right there.
Yeah, nothing really to celebrate this year.
No.
But yes, there you have the cultural placement and historical placement of 1932.
So now that we have established our global history, or a global context rather, let's get into the Orson Welles of it all. And again, this will not be a super long episode because, again, I came in woefully unprepared. However, as we kind of alluded to earlier in this episode, we are building, and as the title of this episode suggests, we are building toward finally being what this podcast was meant to be about, which is really diving into the creative work. So this is all leading up to next episode, which is going to be about the first, I suppose, published piece of Welles's work, which we are both very excited to talk.
I am so excited about it. Bex and I have been doing a watch through of teen comedies based on literature. And next up is She's the Man, which is, of course, based on Twelfth Night. I am very excited for it. So, yes.
Play we are getting ready to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm going to get this story in many different contexts. I'm going to know this shit, damn it.
So, and again, Twelfth Night is one of those, I have never done Twelfth Night. I think I mentioned this last week or the week before. I think I've only done three Shakespearean plays in my life. I don't know if I brought this up on the podcast or if this was just in conversation with people in the play. But I have done, as an actor, and again, I am an amateur actor. I am very much an amateur. I am in no way a professional. No one has ever paid me to act since college, when I was a part of a murder mystery dinner theater in Grant Park, Illinois, at a little place called the Bennett Curtis House. And we were all paid under the table as a tax write-off. And by write-off, I mean plausible deniability, so he didn't have to actually list us as employees on his. I'm probably blowing up that guy's spot, and I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
Tucker,
I'll mark that off in the notes.
Tucker, bleep what you deem necessary there. But Orson Welles, as we mentioned last week or last episode, last class. There it is.
There it is.
As we mentioned last class.
This is
the illusion is real.
Yeah, this is a classroom, not a Zoom call. Yeah.
Yeah. Orson returns to America March 18th, 1932. And after, a string of triumphant performances in Dublin, and basically falls into a role handcrafted for him by Skipper Hill himself, that of second semester drama coach at the Todd School. Basically, Roger Skipper Hill has Orson uh, taken care of, and that's again kind of one of those things. Like he we'll get into some struggles that he has a little later in this episode, but generally speaking, this is not a kid who's ever really struggled.
Yeah.
And that plays out, I think, when he grows up. And I think his real struggles come as a result of not being able to make the art he really wants to make. Like that's when the struggles start for Orson. But yeah, he basically gets a job handed to him, which I mean, in the throes of the Great Depression, must be nice. I mean, this is
Must be
1932.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be nice. It must be nice. And so Wells is, or Todd is, basically prepping a production of Twelfth Night. Much as Orson had done 3 years previous with Julius Caesar, taking it to the Chicago Drama League annual contest. Todd was planning on doing the same thing with Twelfth Night, and Orson basically kind of takes over as he had when he was a student at Todd. He jumps right in.
Orson Welles immediately invoked creative control. What?
Surely not. The thing that got him in immense trouble when he was in Ireland, like painting sets and whatnot. No, of course not. Why would
Oh
he?
my God.
Except, unlike the people he was working with in Ireland, Skipper Hill basically let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. So he had
which is why
basically
the boy never learns a lesson.
he says, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, and I will probably misquote this again, but basically one of my favorite Wells quotes is, "I was told so often that I was a genius growing up that by the time I realized that I might not be, I had no idea what to do with myself."
Oh, buddy.
Like he's
Buddy.
starting, I mean, because again, and we've been over this, right? Like starting with his mother, who was constantly like feeding him art and literature. Like his Midsummer Night's Dream was his like childhood primer. Like that was like the first thing he read as a kid was A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is why he hated that play. Because it's like that's kid stuff. That's what I was reading. That's the first thing I learned how to read was A Midsummer Night's Dream. So like this guy is raised on Shakespeare, something that will become more apparent in the weeks to come. But so he gets into Twelfth Night, and again, this is a story that he probably already knows fairly well. So he jumps right into it. The production itself had been modeled after a relatively acclaimed production staged by June Cowell at the Harris Theater in Chicago that the Todd Troopers had seen earlier that year, or maybe even the previous semester. And a lot was borrowed from that production. Because this was going into the Drama League contest, Wells had a lot to prove. He had basically lost first prize 3 years ago. They said it was good. Like they got like a kind of a special commendation, but that like wasn't first prize, and that's what he wanted. So our boy had shit to prove at this point. So he pours a lot into it. One of the big things he steals from the Cal production was the set design. Her production had right at its center a giant book. And the pages would variously be turned throughout the production. In the Cal production, it was a clown would come out and turn the pages. In the Todd production, it was the boys would come out and they would turn the pages. And every time they would turn the page, it would basically be a scene change. So they would turn the page and the scenery would be painted on the pages, essentially.
That explains a lot about that video you sent me that I watched. Excellent.
And speaking of the video, Wells had I think it was I want to say maybe a 16 millimeter camera, and he would go around and shoot footage of the boys performing their various roles and would show it to them as ways of like critiquing their performance, showing what they should and should not be doing throughout dress rehearsal. And that was eventually taken and turned into like a short little film. That I think was used at the Todd School to drum up interest in their drama program. And that video exists on YouTube as a it was handed over by, I think, Todd Tarbox, who is the son of Haskey Tarbox or Harsey Tarbox. I've seen it spelled a couple of different ways, but we've commented on the young man's name before.
Yeah.
And there is a picture of him somewhere, and I will try to find it for this episode to post on the socials, of him holding the spoilers loving cup that they win at the Drama League for this production of Twelfth Night. But some of that footage of the Twelfth Night production actually has survived and exists on YouTube. I'm going to link it in the show notes for this episode so that you can see it. And that has been preserved as many aspects, and one we'll talk about here in a few classes, Hearts of Age, the first film that Wells ever made, very short film. And I'll tell all about my story of that. I'm trying to get a guest for that episode. So I'm trying to get our very first guest.
Hell
for
yeah.
that episode. One of the people at my fabled bachelor party. So I'm trying to see if he would be interested in coming on that episode. But we had Wellsnet is the person who's kind of has a lot of those a lot of that Wells ephemera up on their channel. It is an invaluable resource. Honestly, I cannot say enough good about it because it is just he does a great job. I'm actually opening the page right now so I can credit him directly. But Wellsnet is the YouTube channel. You can find it. Ray Kelly is the person who keeps that. So shout out to Ray Kelly. Wellsnet is an incredible resource for Wells scholars or people like us who are wannabe Wells scholars. Or I guess enthusiasts is the word that I think we've used in the past. But yeah, Ray Kelly over at Wellsnet, thank you for your work in Wells preservation.
Yes,
but yeah,
thank you.
I will absolutely be linking that video in the show notes because it's too good not to, frankly. So yeah, 3 years, as I alluded to earlier, 3 years after Julius Caesar failed to wow the judges there at the Drama League contest, Todd School wins the top prize, a 2.5-foot loving cup, silver loving cup, which is kind of one of those like stereotypical like trophy cups that you might see. Is handed over to them for Twelfth Night. They win it over several larger and honestly probably wealthier schools that were up for contention.
Oh hell yeah, nice.
So it's kind of a David and Goliath kind of story. Like this tiny little school from Woodstock, Illinois, comes into Chicago and kind of demolishes like these bigger, wealthier schools in the process. So we love to see it. Then in May of that year, Wells begs for and ultimately receives, because he's got Skipper wrapped around his little finger, a spot on as a chaperone on a 2-week 8th grade history and civics trip. Bus trip to see various Civil War sites, Kentucky, like Lexington, Appomattox Courthouse, Harper's Ferry, Washington, D.C. Basically, this trek through like Kentucky and Virginia to see a lot of these kind of World War II battle sites.
Wait, hang on.
Okay.
World War II battle sites.
Fuck.
Okay. You had said civil the first time, and I got real confused.
Yep. Nope. Nope. Sorry. Have I mentioned two Malorts?
No, you're just like, you're speaking my language, because like I've lived in the eastern Philly region of Pennsylvania my whole life, but I frequently take trips out to like Gettysburg and stuff like that. So there are a lot of Civil War battlefields in this area, but I don't think I've been to any of those specific ones. I guess Washington, D.C. and Arlington National Cemetery count as one great big one at this point, but
right.
Yeah. Still, that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I go on that trip? That sounds fascinating.
I'm sure if you wanted to make that road trip, you absolutely could.
Might be a little risky these days, but yes.
Yeah, and touche. I imagine it's probably not terribly easy for you to travel.
Our sheets are probably safe places for me, right? The place that makes those delicious fries wouldn't hate crime me, would they?
I would hope not. God.
Probably they'd hate crime me just for criticizing the fact that they spell fries with a Z. Like, come on, man.
Oh.
Silly.
Look, I know our governor has declared our state a safe haven, so
Good. We got that going for us. But I love this next paragraph. Wells, not one for wasted time, was hoping to use this trip as an opportunity to cajole Skipper into helping him write a new play, a biography on the life of abolitionist John Brown. John fucking Brown. Hell yeah.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
There
John
it
Brown's body lies a
fucking is.
moldering in the grave, but its soul goes marching on. Ah,
And so that is ultimately the goal to which we are marching in this episode is that play, and that is the play that we will be discussing next week. It is ultimately called Marching Song, and we'll get into it. We're going to kind of talk about the build up to its writing today and how so that's kind of what this episode is based around, is the build up to Marching Song, and then we'll discuss Marching Song in its entirety next week, because we found a copy on archive.org, and we will actually include that in the show notes as well for your homework for the week. So if you guys want to keep up with us as we're kind of going on this journey and kind of watch and look at and read what we're doing, then that, I think, is going to be an invaluable resource for you. So I will try to link that in the show notes as well for this episode. Wells was too young to drive and honestly had no interest in driving. So as an excuse to bring him on the trip, Skipper called him the, quote, chief of crew, which basically meant he was in charge of the boys and making sure they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. Added to his responsibility, he was tasked with checking the journals that they were supposed to be writing on the trip to make sure that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. The irony of Orson Welles being in charge of anyone following instructions is not lost on me. I hope it's also not lost on you.
It's the contradictory nature of the man that just really sells me.
And that is, I think, what makes him such a fascinating figure, is the contradiction. And most of the time, it's his own contradiction.
Seller of his own snake oil. It's amazing.
And chief consumer thereof, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like he says these things not to convince someone else otherwise, but because he legitimately does believe this stuff that he says about himself. And we've come across several, even already just within these past 7 episodes, come across several things that he has said that we're kind of like, really, Orson, but really though. And
there's going to be a lot more of that.
This podcast will be full of those things. Absolutely. But yeah, Wells had hoped to take this trip as a way of kind of breathing the same air, walking the same places where John Brown had walked, and hoping to kind of soak up the atmosphere for the setting of the trip. They even went kind of out of their way to the childhood home of John Brown, just to kind of, again, get that kind of atmosphere. And then ended up and around Niagara Falls before heading back to Woodstock, Illinois, which is, again, a place I hope to make a bit of a pilgrimage to myself because of this podcast. We are doing here what Orson Welles hoped to do with John Brown in his play. This is our marching song, if you will.
Well, mine eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the Orson. So
he's trampling out something. I'm not sure if it's vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored, but he's trampling out something for sure.
Definitely a vintage.
God, I love it. I love it so much.
I did just literally, while you were speaking, I just searched archive.org marching song Orson Welles, and I found the PDF. So that's on my phone now.
I was gonna say, I thought I sent you that link earlier, but
pretty sure you did. I'm thinking this is the screen I am looking at right now.
Sure.
I'm going to focus on that.
Understood.
Or the audience can play along at home.
Exactly. It is available though. That is again, it was something we were able to find on the internet in its entirety, which is Not easy to do.
It's going to be a little rare for these first couple episodes. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and honestly, we're gonna find what we can, where we can, how we can. And honestly, even some of the later stuff, we're gonna have a tough time finding. Like some stuff, we're gonna find in dribs and drabs. It's not gonna be full stuff. We're gonna be commenting on pieces of
Yeah.
the whole rather than the whole thing. Particularly when we get into that like late stage Wells stuff, like Don Quixote or The Deep, or um, the name of it just Merchant of Venice. Like he had several projects he was working on at the time of his death, and as of now, in the year of our Lord 2025, only one of them has ever seen release, and that
Great.
is The Other Side of the Wind. So, do with
You know
that
what?
what
I feel like final Miyazaki animated movie, first Disney gay character, and final unpublished work of Orson Welles are all just jockeying constantly to be increasingly inaccurate.
Yes,
100%. It's like how Douglas Adams called the 5-book series of Hitchhiker's Guide a trilogy. So,
yes,
yeah.
and again, but and I think that's Adams leaning into the absurdity, because that is the kind of writer that Adams was. Whereas all these others,
he was a comedian.
Exactly, and a damn good one at that.
Damn fine.
Yeah, lest we forget, the man, very good at what he does. Did I see Hitchhiker's Guide for the to the Galaxy, the film, the day it came out, which was the day of my my college finals, like the last day of my college finals. Did my friends and I all bring our towels? The answer to all of these questions, dear listener, is yes. These are all things that we did.
Very nice. Very nice. I bought the soundtrack opening day along with seeing the movie. So right there with you, my friend.
And at one of the other podcasts I do, Disenfranchised, we recorded a whole episode on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So go listen to that. Go listen to that if you're after this episode. If you're,
I tried to rewatch it recently. The Martin Freeman of it all just gets to me.
I kind of love him in that role though. And here's the thing though, Mos Def though.
Mos Def as Ford Prefect. Holy shit.
That is that is something like, that is the casting choice in that film that grows on me the more I watch it.
Sam Rockwell gets a lot of attention. Yeah, Sam Rockwell gets a lot of attention, deservedly so. It's a great big flashy, fun, yelly, screamy, funny part. But Mos Def is so fucking understated and is barely the focus of where the camera's pointing. But just you watch that movie and you watch him specifically, you're gonna have a good time. It's
he is always on in that movie, and it's so good.
It's like he decided to go method in the character of Ford Prefect, and it's beautiful.
It is a thing of beauty. It legitimately is. I love it. I love it so much. Speaking of things I love so much, Orson Welles. One of my favorite in fact, my very favorite historical figure, if I'm being very honest. They returned to Todd, Woodstock, Illinois, just in time for the closing day ceremonies, which include, among other things, a reprise, let's say, of Twelfth Night. The award-winning 12th Night production. After the school year is over, Orson returns to Highland Park in Chicago to stay with his guardian, Dr. Maurice Cookmaster General Bernstein. The family that they often connected with out in Highland Park, the Moores, Hazel Moore is the wife, and Orson said he was always kind of curious about the relationship between Bernstein and Hazel Moore, because apparently the two would bicker like an old married couple, despite the fact that she was married to someone else. And again, the consistency with which we see Bernstein involved with married women is, let's just say, the man had a kink.
Wow, dude.
I feel like it's safe to say.
Set him up and knock him down. Jesus Christ. This dude is just moving through Married women, like I'm moving through a box of Little Debbie Swiss cake rolls. It's rough
Swiss
going.
cake rolls.
Yeah, Swiss. They are my favorite cake roll, or snack cake. I guess I should broaden my definition.
of all the cake rolls that exist,
Of
I
all
prefer
of
the
all of the
ones made in
Swiss cake rolls,
Switzerland.
Swiss cake rolls are absolutely my go-to.
Fuck you, jelly rolls, Swiss cake all the way.
Yeah, actually, fuck jelly rolls, chocolate. Jesus Christ. So we're talking about Dr. Maurice Bernstein. Him and Hill arranged for Orson to spend the summer at a Wisconsin cottage owned by a colleague, but Orson, never to do what he was told, I'm terrified as to where the sentence is about to go, decided mid-voyage to accept an invitation from the father of one of his Todd classmates, James Meigs
is how I pronounce
Meigs.
it. I could be very wrong, and I'm sure if I am, someone will let me know.
James Meigs, and decided to summer with them instead.
So they are in basically the woods of Wisconsin.
Okay.
As you know, as one does. Again, Wisconsin, the state that Wells was born in, the place he calls home. They're in the wooded area outside of. And again, I didn't write this down, so my apologies.
How dare you?
I know. I am actually the worst. I don't know if this has actually come out on the podcast yet or not, but I am actually the worst.
A million Hitlers.
I should be so lucky. I don't remember, but yeah, in Wisconsin. I can't fucking find it. I'm not fucking worried about it. It's fine. I'm not that concerned. But basically, he spends the summer up there with them. This is the family that he takes to see the Barrymore film Grand Hotel that I mentioned earlier in the episode. But he decides to stay with them and said he got a look at the driver that the friend of Bernstein's had sent to pick him up from the train station, and called him, oh God, I can't believe I'm about to say this, a cross-eyed half-breed.
Come on, man.
Right? That, like,
Dog.
I hated fucking reading that, and then I had to say it.
Ugh.
Fuck.
God damn it.
But yeah, so he decided at that point, literally when he sees the driver that was sent for him, decides, you know what? Fuck this guy. Fuck Dr. B. I'm going with my buddy and his friends. The oldest son had just been a part of the 12th Night production that Orson had directed over at Todd. He had just, in fact, graduated from Todd. The younger brother actually would go on to become something of a singer in his own right, and would actually be in a lot of films, mostly westerns. But which I found kind of cool. The Walter Meigs, I think, was that kid's name.
I'm just making note to put a trigger warning on this episode. Historical context quoted, archaic hate speech. Good.
Yep. Sorry, listener.
Yeah.
Orson, once he gets to the place with the Meigses, builds a wigwam, which is what he calls it, out in the backyard, basically, which looks like a upside down salad bowl, and that's where he spends most of the summer. Puts all of his art supplies out there. Of course, he brings his paint set, his typewriter, a number of other things, and basically spends the summer out there working on his artistic endeavors. It's slow going, but he gets a draft of the first scene of the John Brown play from Hill. Hill manages to scrape together like just kind of a draft of a scene and sends it to Orson. And that is all Orson needs. He basically begins working heavily on the script. That is the inspiration that he requires. And at this point, the script is called Kansas Days.
McGilligan song's a little peppier.
Yeah, it is, and we'll by the time we get to the autumn, that's where I think the play marching song, or the title marching song, finally connects. McGilligan says Hill understood his role. Once he fired the starter pistol, he would step back and watch Orson run the race. So basically, like Orson, if you look at the the script that's on archive.org, Orson's name is huge. And then underneath in very small script, and Hope you could probably confirm this, in very small script with Roger Hill. Like very small underneath. And it more or less is Orson's script. Like Hill kind of contributes a little bit here and there, but Orson really takes over and it becomes kind of his thing. However, Orson is not someone who can funnel all of his creative energy into one single endeavor. So, as such, he starts to divide his attention among other projects. He starts writing a mystery play called The Dark Room. As to paraphrase David Sims from the Blank Check podcast, what if there was a dark room? And then he also begins to work on another play called Bright Lucifer, which is on the list, but I don't think it's one that we'll end up covering because it's one of those that like he eventually kind of puts aside, kind of finishes, someone somewhere eventually stages it.
Fair enough. Yeah, can confirm. Orson Welles gets a Type 40 font, and Roger Hill gets a Type 12. So, woof.
Right. His is also at that point the more recognizable name. By the time this thing probably actually gets published. Which brings us into the autumn of 1932. By the end of September, Orson's back in Highland Park, which is a northern suburb of Chicago. Weird Al actually just played out there this past weekend and got rained out. Apparently there was a monsoon in Highland Park. So, yeah.
Oh, no.
I was actually thinking about going to that show at one point, but I've just been way too busy with other things, so I did not. And my partner also hates Weird Al, so I'd be going by myself.
What?
Yeah.
We're gonna we don't have time to get into that. We're gonna talk about that later.
No time to talk about it now. But yeah, it apparently got like rained out. Like people were like filming TikToks from the venue and then like walking through like feet of water to get back to their cars to get home. Like it was ridiculous.
It's just funny that you happen to mention that. Today, as we're recording this, our 5th episode, the Todd Years Part 2, dropped in the feed. And you mentioned how Weird Al Yankovic is coming to town, to that venue. So this is a weird thread that we're picking up on several episodes later.
Yes.
If anybody out there knows or cares. So I know we'll get something from Tucker, probably mentioning once again his favorite polka when he gets to this point in the editing. So
I was gonna say Tucker is actually going to see Weird Al again weeks ago by the time this episode drops, but this coming weekend, as of the time we're recording this, as he will be in Indianapolis on July 3rd. So
yes, we will hear from Tucker in a few weeks your time as to how that concert went.
Yeah.
And
in fact, Tucker, if you just want to put like a couple minutes about your Weird Al experience here in the edit, feel free.
Yeah, just freestyle for a few minutes. I'll mark it off 52, 55 in the record. Weird Al interlude and cut.
Hi, it's me, Tucker. I saw Weird Al, and it was really cool, and you should go see him if that's your sort of thing. Okay, I love you. Bye.
And we're back. All right. So
thanks, Tucker. That was great.
Thanks, Tucker. That was really insightful. I had no idea you had felt that way about white and nerdy. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I also have extensive thoughts about I'm the Pac-Man, but it's sad that one never got released. Good stuff.
You know what did get released, but will never get performed live, Hope, is
your muting actually worked a little too well there. I didn't even hear what you just said.
Hardware store.
There we go. Okay.
It helps if you pull your hand toward the microphone. Listener, also, I am using a weird fucked up system because my computer shit bad last weekend.
Sublime. I'm so sorry.
Isn't it just? Well, that's hardly your fault.
Sublime. Hardware store. It's one of those tracks. Oh God. I can't even get into it right now. We should get back on the notes because it is 10:30 at night. I have to be up in 6 hours.
Okay, we
Yeah.
honestly, we do not need to do that much more because
We don't. We have 3 paragraphs.
we have 3 paragraphs, and I mean, there's some more stuff in the notes, but I think I can summarize, or more stuff in the text that I didn't put in the notes that I can basically summarize.
Fair enough.
Wells basically goes to New York to try to sell the script as he's working on revising it through September. The plan is to go to New York, find a producer, someone who's willing to produce the show for Broadway.
He's going to make it big in a big city.
Exactly. Yeah. Big city dreams for a small town boy. Just a small town boy. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Orson, however, is nervous when his brother, Richard Ives Wells, who, as eagle-eared listeners will remember, has been institutionalized in Kankakee, Illinois, the place where I went to college, wants to come and visit Orson for Richard's birthday. He's getting ready to celebrate a birthday. He's been institutionalized. He does get occasional trips outside of the institution in order to visit friends and family. And he wants to visit his little brother. Orson is very, very nervous about this meeting, potentially. And there's a quote here from Orson that I want to read that kind of lets us into his psyche a little bit, taken from a letter to Roger Hill. Frankly, I have no desire to see him for another 3 years. He's so upsetting to one's equilibrium, but something has got to be done, I suppose, and I do want to be as nice as possible. But what the hell? Do I seem callous? Really, Richard is a tremendous strain, always making off with himself or your silverware, and unbearably overbearing. But I do love him and sympathize, and I will try just this once to be a little unselfish. Incidentally, you must meet him. I'll never feel you quite know me till you know my family. However, ultimately, Richard never comes. Another quote from Orson from another letter to Skipper. After all that worry over Richard and all that heroic self-sacrifice, the weekend is not to be. Dada, which is again Orson's nickname for Dr. Bernstein, forgot to perform certain Kankakee rites. He's so busy these days. So Brother Dick must languish in the institution over his birthday. Which, again, given what we've kind of covered about Richard and his issues over the past few episodes, is honestly really kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah. So
gosh, it's a good thing that the mental institution and the mental health institution in America just got better over time. Oh no.
Oh
no.
I mean, better compared to 1932. Yes. Good
Yeah,
in
unfortunately.
terms
At
of
the same time,
everything.
though, it's that kind of like, yeah, it's you think me callous? Yes, we think you callous. Like, yeah.
It's your fucking brother, dude.
You
Like,
treat
come on.
people with love and compassion, and you figure out why they are the way they are, and you don't just shove them off to the side. It's almost like some sort of unelected official in charge of the health institution of this country. Wasn't his aunt fucking lobotomized? Historically, like famously. Right. I'm not telling tales out of school. Like, that's been documented. Like, correct. Disgusting behavior. I'm just going to get more mad if we dwell on this for much longer. So
yeah, let's not dwell. Let's move on. We mustn't dwell. Not today.
Good.
Not on Rex Manning Day. Oh wait, it's not fucking Rex Manning Day. Sorry.
No.
That'd be something if it was.
It's the day after the end of Pride. Therefore, nobody's gay anymore. So,
again, it's a spectrum, Hope. Everyone's gay. It's just the degrees to which they are gay. Did I break you again?
I have no response for that. I'm not even going to mark that down in the notes as a place to pause.
Did I say something horribly offensive again?
No, you didn't say anything horribly offensive. I'm just... Okay. My brain is oscillating wildly back and forth between despair whenever I see the news and humanity is good, actually. And there's not much middle ground there any of these days. It's just not that really. Constant tick-tock metronome
Yeah, I was gonna say
going back and forth.
it's the fucking teeter-totter of it all that
I'm so
really.
Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking tired. But that doesn't stop us from saying that the Hills drove Wells to New York City. Did you read this paragraph?
I did not.
You
No,
did
please
not.
do.
Great. As I choke on nothing. The Hills drove Wells to New York City, where he was tasked with shopping the John Brown play, now titled Marching Song, to various producers in an attempt to find someone willing to mount the show. It's we're just getting into like classic. Yeah, we're gonna make it in the big city. Hey, I've got a show I wrote. Can you help me put it on, Mister? We'll do the show right here.
And yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
from this point, you know this. It's every story ever. Like Wells shops it around. No one's fucking interested. Like Hill has a connection, like a former Todd student who is a producer, but he's out in Hollywood writing scripts out there, so he's not even in New York for Wells to visit. But Wells shops it around to a lot of big names. A lot of, if you're familiar with theater in the 1930s, these are names you probably know. One name I know any actor will know is Samuel French, who is the guy whose name is on like half the scripts you get. Like Samuel French is like a big like script publisher.
Oh, okay.
Is the name of a big script publisher. So yeah, a lot of scripts that I have owned have been Samuel French scripts from various plays that I've done over the years.
I got around having to read scripts by doing improv comedy. Hell yeah.
I mean, I did my fair share of that too, which is why
valid.
I have never been word perfect on a script a day in my life, because I am prone to ad lib and embellishment, something every director I've ever worked for has hated me for.
Oh no.
Not every director. I will say there have been a couple of directors who have been very supportive of my ad lib. Like at one point in one of the last shows I did in Indianapolis before I moved out to Illinois, there was a line that I had added to the script, just like thrown in there just for fun, and the director liked it, so he kept it in. But the producer of the show was sitting like watching the performance, and he looks over at the director and goes, "Is that in the script?" He goes, "No, that's the magic of Stephen Foxworthy."
The magic of Stephen Foxworthy.
Yeah, not every director has appreciated that about me, but he was one who did, which is why I loved working with Brent Woldridge.
Hell yeah,
that
Brent.
man. I will shout him out by name. Brent, you are an incredible director. I have always loved working with you. You're the man. Keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
You are one of the best. You are the best director I've ever worked for.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Let Stephen off the leash. Let's fucking go.
But yeah, no, he shops the script around. No one really shows any interest, and Wells gets incredibly discouraged, especially in October when he reads a review in the New York Times for a biography of John Brown that's getting ready to come out. And he's like, well, this sounds a lot better than what I wrote. Shit. Plummets into despair. Hill is kind of the optimistic buoy. This is a role he performs a lot for Wells. Like Wells will get really discouraged and depressed, and Hill will be kind of the shot of optimism that Orson needs to kind of weather the storm that he's going through. And so he actually ends up staying in New York for quite a while. Eventually tries to use his stage experience from his Dublin days to parlay his way into an acting career. But it's, let me check my notes here, the Great Depression.
That depression.
Right. Not just any depression, the Great Depression. Although I have a feeling here in a few months we'll be giving that depression a run for its money.
I'm gonna lay it down right now. We should just call it the Big Sad.
I like that.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Great Big Sad.
We're not depressed. I'm just kind of feeling the big sad right now.
The big damn sad.
Mm.
And so he tries to make it as an actor. The Great Depression's going on. He can't find work anywhere. Like he learns basically his Dublin credits are fucking worthless. And so he ends up, as you might imagine, ends up going back to and this is the part where the notes are done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to check the book to make sure that what I remember reading is in fact a thing I did read. Like, he doesn't get a lot of interest in Marching Song. I want to say eventually someone shows interest, but it's very short-lived. And so eventually he kind of finds himself, he writes a letter to Roger Hill. I am now firmly convinced that Marching Song, despite its merits, will never be produced, at least not this year. I am aware that disappointments, it matters not how many, should in no way affect my confidence, but they do. And eventually, the book version of Marching Song is, in fact, what we end up with. The show is not produced, at least professionally, until I think several years later. I want to check, if you'll permit me this indulgence, I want to check because I think I made a note about it in the spreadsheet. Right, the first production, it's unproduced in full. The first production of it is a student production in 1950. So we're still about almost 20 years away from an actual production of it, and it's a student production at that. So it never gets performed in its entirety, but Hope, I will mention at this point, that is what we're covering next week. So we will be talking about Marching Song in its entirety next week. We will be,
Fuck
or I
yeah.
guess in 2 weeks, next class.
Next class, right.
Next class, we will be talking about Marching Song in its entirety. We're going to read the play and we're going to discuss it and some of the context around it. Probably reiterate some of the stuff we mentioned in this episode just as kind of a refresher. But yeah, that's where we're headed. Hope, that is next. We're finally getting to talk about the work.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, we're finally getting into it. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It only took us 8 episodes.
But we're there.
We're there. We're there. I also have to admit, just doing like some cursory searches, besides finding the script to Marching Song very easily, I found a YouTube channel, always a risky sentence to say. But if you would like to immerse yourself in the upcoming radio that we will be covering, found a YouTube channel, the Classic Archives Old Time Radio channel. And my God, they have more radio programs from back in the day than you could begin to imagine. You got Martin and Lewis, you got Red Skelton, you got Groucho Marx, you've got different recordings of different presidents doing different speeches. You've got the shows I've never even heard of on here. Big John and Sparky. Ripley's Believe It or Not, whole shitload of episodes of that. The original Superman radio series is on here.
Fuck yeah.
Buck Rogers, lot of audio books, it looks like, or just performances of stuff like that. I am a slut for things like this. Hey, the Green Hornet, check that out. My God.
Ooh.
Yeah, Gunsmoke, Roy Rogers, Dick Tracy. Hey, here's The Shadow. Fuck yeah, view full playlist. Literally at the end of the page, The Shadow.
Nice.
But yeah, so like, I am going to be taking a huge dive into that. And it should be a pretty good time. Death Stalks the Shadow. Nice. Gonna download that. But yes.
And
did we have anything else?
Once we get into the radio portion of this podcast, Hope is going to be taking more of a driving role.
I will not be taking as
expert.
Well, experts. My dark secret is that I'm a jack of all trades. So I'll be becoming an expert during the course of this program. But really, I'm just an enthusiast. I think the James Bonding boys say, lovers, not experts. There are 249 videos in this playlist. I'm not sure if Orson is the Shadow in all of them. I doubt he's the Shadow in all of them.
I
But
don't think he is. That is a role I
as
think
far as
he takes from someone else.
yeah, as far as the Shadow goes, I have a couple of episodes that I will be recommending to give yourself the full Shadow experience.
And
While
that
we
is what
also
I'm
talk about
counting
things
on.
like the greater context of the Shadow in general, maybe some sort
Right.
of tie-in with another podcast that focuses on film franchises that never got franchised. I'm sure there's a word for it. I'm
Interesting.
sure there's a word for it.
It's not
It's
coming to
called
me. Let me see.
Colossal Fuck Ups of Motion Pictures. Right, that's what it's
Oh,
called.
there it is.
Right,
That is actually
right.
a very good
Or all they
podcast.
just
Yeah.
all collectively called Leagues of Extraordinary Gentlemen's. Yeah, it's one of those.
There it is. There it
One of
is.
those.
Oh
Yeah,
God, we love to see it.
yeah. Hmm. Do we have anything else we wanted to talk about?
That is, I think, where we're going to take a pause for the cause. I think we're going to pick it up next class with marching song. We're gonna talk
Fuck
about it. We're gonna
yeah.
read the play. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do probably maybe a little biographical research on the person of John Brown, and I don't know. We're gonna have a little discussion about marching song. All the good, the ill, and everything in between. So I'm very much looking forward to that conversation, and I hope you are as well, listener.
Should be.
Uh,
Should be.
Hope, why don't you? So your homework for next week, and again, we'll leave it in the show notes. If you are wanting to keep up with us, again, you are under no obligation to do so. This is strictly extracurricular. But if you would like to read the script for marching song, I will put the link in the show notes so that you can read and engage with it on your time.
Yeah.
That is
The
what
play.
we're going to be doing to prep for next week.
Yeah, the play itself is 144 pages long. I'm not going to commit anybody to reading that besides
Here's
myself.
the thing, the script as it is not all the play. The play is actually just part of that. So I think it's less than 100, just the play itself. There are like
Oh no, that's what
appendices
I
and
had to scroll back up through the index and the afterwards. But yeah, there's oh wait, no, look at that. Acknowledgements start on page my God, yeah, very little of this book is actually play. Never mind, I rescind my former statement. Whoops.
most of it is play, but yeah, there's a lot of ephemera there as well, which we will probably read, but we are not obligating you to do so.
But yes, otherwise, we getting into plugs at this point?
Yeah, let's do it. Hope,
Yeah. All
what's
right.
going on? What do you got going on right now?
Inactive. I've got High on Cartoons with Bex, and Matrix Reclamations with Ella Cesare, depending on what your flavor of info dump is. Active right now, besides this, The Lanes Between, the radio fanfic or fanfic radio podcast I've been doing with a bunch of very interesting, the International Coalition of Lesbians that I've joined. We've been putting out our episodes now, and
I love that you called them that. That is amazing.
speaking of my love of old time radio, I feel like I'm doing something about that myself these days, because I have narrated the past 2 episodes, and I was also the editor of the episode that's dropping this Friday as of the time of record, and that was
Hell
a
yeah.
special kind of hell. But they're turning out amazingly. I couldn't be more excited to work with these people. They are a delightful and insane bunch, and they keep my Discord notifications going constantly. So if fan fiction about 2 specific lesbians from the TV show Arcane are your thing, look up The Lanes Between. Otherwise, I don't know how much of a crossover there's going to be with the Orson Welles audience.
I was going to say, I listened to the first episode. I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but
Yeah.
you were great,
Yeah.
if I may say.
Thank you. I
were
appreciate
phenomenal.
that.
Love and continue to love and appreciate you. You were actually you were everyone was very good, but of course
I should send you my
friend,
outtakes
so
sometime because they are a tragedy.
that sounds delightful, is what that sounds like.
Thank you. Stephen, what do you got?
I have a few podcasts, of course. I am the host of a podcast called the Disenfranchised podcast, where our editor and producer of this show, Tucker, and occasionally my good friend Brett Wright. The three of us talk about movies that were intended to be the Kickstarter of long-running Hollywood franchises, but ultimately failed to do so. That show drops every week on Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts. And then, of course, I am a frequent collaborator and contributor to the Pod and the Pendulum podcast, a movie or a podcast that covers all the horror movie franchises, one episode at a time. One movie, one episode at a time. I just, as I mentioned earlier, was on the episode talking about Night of the Living Dead. I'm hoping to be on the episodes for Dawn and Day as well, as I find both, and Diary also. Dawn and Day I find very interesting. Diary was one of the first Romero movies I ever saw, so it kind of holds a weird place in my heart, even though I don't think it's very good. But it's the Summer of George is what we're calling it. George, of course, being Romero. But that is going on over at the Pod and the Pendulum. You can find me at Chewy Walrus on Blue Sky and Letterboxd. The Disenfranchised podcast at Disenfranchised Pod on Blue Sky and YouTube and Letterboxd. The Pod and the Pendulum, they've not cut back on social media to the extent that I have, but the Wells U podcast, you can find on Blue Sky and YouTube at Wells U Pod. Please follow us on those platforms. Hit us up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. A 5-star rating and review goes a long way to helping us find listeners like you. We're fairly new, so any positive feedback you can provide in the Podsphere is so greatly appreciated. We really want to try to find as many listeners as possible. We know we're not everybody's flavor, but we want to find the people whose flavor we are.
Yeah, please help us actually get this podcast to 10 years. So, yeah,
I mean,
please
look,
justify
we'll
this
probably
insanity.
do it regardless of whether or not we have listeners, but having listeners will definitely help.
Very much so.
And if you want to reach out to us directly, wellsupod@gmail.com. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're excited for. Whatever feedback you have, let us know. We would be delighted to hear from you. And who knows, we may even read what you have to say here on the podcast as well. We are eternally grateful that you have decided to listen to us prattle on about one of our favorite historical figures.
We know you have your choice in Orson Welles podcast biographies.
And we're grateful you've chosen us, quite frankly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Very
One
special, very
one of
honored.
these days we're going to bank up some bonus episodes, so we've got those in the tank just for a rainy day.
I'm very excited to get drunk and watch along with movies with you. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be
fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Do I do the drunken commentary tracks where we get drunk on Paul Masson brandy and Carlsberg Pilsner? Love that for us. In the meantime,
I'm making a yucky face. Yeah,
you are. Yes, you're not a fan of this idea. We're going to get to the Orson Welles Pitchman episode at some point.
Terrifying.
Which will not be quite as fun as Orson Welles Fuckboy, but we'll get there too. At any rate, this has been the Wells U podcast. I remain your TA, Stephen Foxworthy. And of course, that over there, that beautiful specimen is my co-host, Hope Stow.
I try.
You succeed. Inside and out, my dear.
Thank you. I look like my mom and I sound like my dad. It's the worst of both worlds. Yeah. Take that, parents. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
Because it's genetics. Yeah.
So again, next week, just to recap, your homework assignment for next week is Marching Song, if you so choose to read it. If not, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. At any rate, thank you for joining us here at Wells U, and until next time, class dismissed.
Yes. Or you can just listen to Battle Hymn of the Republic over and over again.
On repeat for however long that episode will be. I'm estimating at least 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours.
But his soul goes marching on.
His soul goes marching on.
on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory. We can cut it off there.